Hey, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I think the first thing I need to do is figure out how to turn off the music. All right. Well, I don't really have a plan. I am just trying to figure out my equipment. I decided my phone was not the way to go. I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. I had lots of fun trying to figure out a name for this chat. Um, I kind of decided on just flocking with you. And so the people part of the name is flocking with you. And I have some things to go over today, but I do not have any knitwears on. I figure maybe that the things that I'm going to go over will help make up for that. And I'm not going to cover acquisitions or anything like that today. This is really just a touchy-feely. I wanted to talk about some things, some techniques, mostly stuff that I've learned that perhaps could help you too. So let's get started. Guess what? I didn't even say who I am. My name is MJ and I live in Northern Virginia. There's a very large group of knitters here, and they are very prolific and serious, quite serious about their knits. And so I will now get started. Okay. So I did go to Rhinebeck this year and I went to a venue the day before. I didn't like it as much as the venue that I did last year. Last year I did Indie Untangled. I'm not going to hop on any kind of bandwagons about the venues, so uh, I just didn't like it. So, but what I wore there was my Rhinebeck sweater, which was the Harvey Wallbanger by Thea Coleman. And I didn't exactly follow her directions. I think her directions were kind of, they had some like, this is what I did, and this is why I did what I did. And I didn't really take this to heart, and I guess I should have, because my friend also made one, and hers looks a little better than mine. She also used a different seaming technique, and I used superwash and she used a non-superwash, and so it was much easier for her to weave in ends, and her sweater has a little more texture and everything, whereas mine's like kind of really heavy and it's superwash. So I will show it to you and see if I can get far enough away. It's kind of wild. So it has a drop shoulder. And so the instructions were basically to not do these top two stripes, to like just leave the background color as the primary shoulder color. And I think that I would have liked that better because when I wear it, it makes my shoulder look really, really rounded, almost frumpy like. And frumpy is not a look that I'm going for. The other thing, because it's superwash and it's got this lace pattern in it, so um, it's kind of like James Watts's "Look at My Holes." So definitely have to wear something underneath it. Oh, and don't look at my ends. I didn't weave them in. I got so sick of weaving in ends. They're like tied because I just couldn't take it anymore, and I needed to get it wearable. So some are woven in, and some are not. Some are tied, and I've been toying with like, do I serge them? Do I try and needle felt them? I don't know. But the other thing is, I don't know how much I even like this sweater. So I'm not sure if I'm going to wear it. It's kind of sad. Took a while. The knitting of the pattern itself was pretty fast. I think I would just do a better job with managing the colors, the ends for weaving. I think the other problem I had was I left my tails too short. I tried to figure, you know, how long I should leave them, and I left them like I would normal in color work or something, but which for me is only like 3 inches. However, because this has that lace pattern, in order to duplicate stitch and stuff, I needed longer tails. So lessons learned. I guess weaving them in as I went along, I would have probably learned that much sooner rather than at the very end after seaming. I just did plain old like mattress stitch up here. Let's see, my seam is like right there. You can't really see it. It's dark. Um, and what else? The collar's added on at the end. Want me to throw it on? Here, figure out how to pause real quick, and then I'll throw this on, and you can see what I mean about the front. Hmm. Okay, here it is. So, see, I just don't like this like kind of rounded look. But when I hold my arms out, and in the back when my arms are out, it looks really cool. I just don't like this rounded part. I've noticed this before on other striped sweaters where I don't like how it looks like right here. Um, it's just a personal preference, I guess. And I'm not a skinny person, so things that are nice and big and boxy on some people just don't look right on me. So, yeah. So this is it. I still have something on underneath, so don't worry about looking at my holes. Um, anyway, if you want to know what yarn it is, it's a hodgepodge. The base color is Hazel Knits Cadence, and the red one is Neighborhood Fiber King Street, and the teal one is Woolen Vinyl uh, Creep. They name all their yarn after like songs and bands and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna like snap my fingers or something, and I'm going to pop back out of this because otherwise I will turn pink and melt into a puddle. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. So what else have I been doing? Um, I wanted a cardigan, and so I decided on the Felix cardigan by Amy Christoffers, and I went to this lovely yarn shop in Pennsylvania the weekend. I don't know if it was Memorial Day weekend or the weekend before, somewhere around there. And my husband took me. It was a really lovely shop called Forever Yarn. And I bought this Gepard, Gepard yarn. And I didn't know what a special yarn this was. Not only that, but I think I bought it from like the only US retailer. So when I was once game short to finish my sweater, that was a bit of an episode. Plus, the yarn shop's only open like 4 days a week. And so I had to wait like just to reach them, but they had another skein, same dye lot even, and so luckily I was able to finish my sweater. I did have a backup plan. I made my sweater a little longer, I think, than I would like, perhaps, and I was willing to take out the waistband and make it shorter, and then add the waistband back in, and then have enough to like finish that last sleeve. But this is my Felix cardigan, and I don't have buttons on it yet. So, the whole reason I jumped right into this sweater is because that was like part of my mission at Rhinebeck, and that was to find buttons. Made 6 of them. They're supposed to be, I think, 20 millimeter or 7/8 of an inch. Um, and I found buttons, but I just wasn't in love with any of them. One place was willing to custom make me buttons, and I kind of thought about having one button like every one of these colors. It's kind of like birthday cake, maybe. Um, so anyway, let's see if maybe I can figure out how to show how long it is. So this is quite roomy. I think I could have gotten away with making one size smaller. Um, we'll see, but maybe I'll make another one. It really went pretty fast. This is pretty as close to instant gratification as you can get for knitting in the flat. And I liked making the buttonholes while you're doing it instead of having to add a button band. Okay. Um, Gepard yarn. Do you want to see the yarn band? Let me see. Hold on a second. So now what I don't remember is if I said it should mirror my camera or not. And so this may or may not be backwards for you. I think for you it's probably correct. We'll test that. And then let's see. Camera. Mirror my camera. Okay, I do have that set. So um and this is color 10, which I would say is kind of like, come on, where's the camera? Kind of like you know, birthday cake with speckles. Or, smears, whichever. Okay, so we will be taking the Felix off, and you're gonna hold on a second. All right. One of the other things that's recently off my needles is the Mawson hat by Jerod Flood. That's Mawson. And my very, very first kind of quasi complex knitting project was a shawl called the Tarot, like Earth Tarot, um, by Jerod Flood. And so I kind of wanted to try his hat. It has interesting decreases, and I think so. They come to a point of 3, and we finish by just cinching the ends. Normally, I don't do that until I get way down there and the number of stitches left, but I just follow the directions. Unfortunately, I think the mohair that I used with the WOOLFOLK far.
Okay, editing MJ here. So, what I was trying to say is that I held mohair with the WOOLFOLK far, and unfortunately, the mohair that I used, I think, is just a little bit prickly. And this is the yarn label for the mohair. And fortunately for me, there was on the sticker here, it actually was hiding more letters because I was really afraid I was going to have to say this on here. But it's Bleu Poussière, and it's from, I'm guessing, French Canada, Quebec. And yeah, so that is the yarn for the Mawson. And also, I mentioned, or am going to mention in a minute, that I made the on the sea train, and so I did run out to my car and grab that, and here it is. It is, it's just really sweet. So that's the on the sea train. Its decreases are kind of like swirls, sort of. There you go. All right. And so that was the Mawson by Jerod Flood, and On the Sea Train, which is a free pattern, and you can find that on Ravelry.
So let's see, what else have I got going on? The main reason I wanted to kick off this podcast is because I did a birthday cast on. My birthday was Friday, and I just really wanted to do something fun for myself. And so I decided to cast on the Soldotna by Caitlin Hunter. And what, when you read the comments on Ravelry, people say they had a lot of problems with the neck.
Okay, editing MJ here again. All right, so my internet kind of glitched, and I was talking about the Soldotna, and that people on Ravelry said that there's a problem with the neck on that pattern, and so that's what had prevented me from starting this project sooner. So now I'm just giving it a test, and I'll when I come back, later in future episodes, I'll let you know if there was indeed, an issue with the neck or not. And so I'm going to change needles, and I'm going to see if it fans out into a circle like it should. And then if it doesn't, then I have to regroup on that sweater. But that was all I was trying to say about the neck before my internet glitched. Okay, thanks.
Here it is so far. It's really wild, right? This yarn is by Botanical Yarn, and I bought a summer neon box from them. And so that is what I'm using. My next color in the color work is going to be this one. And I haven't really decided the rest of it yet. I've got more colors than the sweater actually calls for. So we'll see. We'll see how I end up. The bottom part of Soldotna has, I think they're called lice, like lice when you're talking about Norwegian knitting. But down here, it's got little specks. So I haven't decided what this big part is, what color this big part is going to be yet. I might need to get a second skein of something in order to do that. So that is Soldotna, and I have some more hats queued. I'm just trying all the hat patterns. Like I also started, it's not in my box. I started Tori Yu's Manhattan hat. So I'm trying that one. I think I got to go grab another skein of WOOLFOLK far in the same color though, because I think that one calls for more yardage in order to like really make the peak thing at the top. And I thought those hats looked really goofy, but I don't know. I guess they grew on me. So I have another one staged. This is Knitting for Olive and WOOLFOLK far. I think I'm just going to do another On the Sea Train. I really liked that pattern. And then I have yet another one staged, Knitting for Olive. I don't know what color that is. Ooh, crinkling sounds so bad, right? Sorry. I'll do better next time. Cloud. Knitting for Olive Cloud. And far. Kind of weird, I think. Maybe this is cool and this is warm, but I think together they'll be really lovely. I didn't really like do a swatch or anything, but let's see. So yeah, I won't put this back in the bag and make any more crinkling sounds. And I really think that's like it. This was introductory. I am not gonna like torture you with my purchases from Rhinebeck, and honestly, I love Maryland sheep and wool. I couldn't love Maryland sheep and wool enough, and or more. Like it's not possible. And I actually like it more than Rhinebeck. Rhinebeck's like a thing because like it attracts like all the knitwear designers and the podcasters and whatnot. But Maryland sheep and wool is good, y'all. It's good. So if you've never made it there, I think you should go. But make sure you bring your what are those duck boots called in case it rains because it is a fairgrounds and it gets a little swampy, squishy in the field where some of the vendors are. So yeah, I can't think of anything else. I'm on Ravelry as vlogging with you. I'm on Instagram, and I don't know how often I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Minnesota and visit my mom, and maybe I'll get her on the next recording so that y'all can meet her. She's a really awesome lady. She only knits a little bit, but I don't hold that against her. She's an avid quilter. I don't know. She must have made hundreds of quilts in her lifetime so far. She's 88, so quite a bit. And yeah, maybe we can have a little chat with her next time. You know, this is really short, but I also wanted to mention a new podcaster whom I just adore. She is so creative. She does little cartoons and um, she's just super creative. And her name is Nora, and her podcast is AKA Nora Knits. And I just love her. I feel like we're a little kindred spirits. She's younger than me and more tech savvy, clearly, but she's just as sweet as all get out. And she's sharing her learning experiences about knitting. So if you want to check her out, please do. When I have some more episodes in the future, I think I'll try and share some of my lessons learned. Like I made a Cladonia shawl, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter where your stitch marker is, right? When you're increasing or making lace. Well, that was a lesson. I'm sure everybody's like, duh, but yeah. Uh, what else? Oh, I have a colorwork sweater that I finished in January 2022, and it was an advent kit. And it was my first time doing colorwork, and so the sweater itself tells a story, and I plan on sharing that in the near future. Maybe maybe when I get done with my Soldotna, I'll do like a side by side of these two colorwork projects, and we can pick them apart. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna try and pretty up my space a little bit. It's the sole reason I haven't started this sooner is because I didn't feel like, oh, I'm not good enough to be out there. Like everybody else's spaces are so cute and, you know, home decor and whatnot. That's not where my forte is, but I'll try. I'll try and pretty it up a bit. So, yeah. Um, well, that's it for now. So take care and happy knitting. Bye.